My name is Friedrich Bauer. I am 77 years old, and I am German. I live alone in a small apartment in Stuttgart, and I want to tell you something that might upset some people. I will never date again, and I have never been happier. I know what you are thinking. You are thinking I am bitter, or depressed, or giving up on life. You are thinking that an old man who says he does not want companionship must be lying to himself, protecting his heart, afraid to be vulnerable. You are wrong. I spent years listening to people tell me what I needed, what I should want, what would make me happy, and I spent years believing them. I tried. I really tried. And then I realized something that changed everything. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. And companionship driven by fear is worse than no companionship at all. Let me tell you how I learned this. My wife Helga died 16 years ago. I was 61 years old. She had a stroke. One moment we were having breakfast, talking about our plans for the weekend. The next moment she was on the floor and I was screaming for help. She died 3 days later in the hospital. I held her hand, and then she was gone. For the first year, I did not know what to do with myself. Our entire life had been built around each other. Our routines, our habits, our conversations. Suddenly, half of everything was missing. I had to learn how to live alone, how to cook for one person, how to eat dinner without someone across the table, how to go to bed without saying goodnight to anyone. It was hard. Some days it was unbearable. But slowly, I built a new life, a small life, a quiet life. I started going to the bakery every morning for coffee and a roll. I joined a model train club. I went fishing on Sundays. I read books. I watched the news. I called my daughter in Hamburg once a week. It was not exciting, but it was peaceful. And peace, I was learning, was valuable. But everyone around me had other ideas. My daughter kept saying, "Papa, you should get out more, meet people. You are too young to be alone." My friends from the train club would say, "Fritz, you need a woman. A man your age should not be cooking his own meals." My neighbors would introduce me to widows. "This is Frau Schmidt. She lost her husband last year. You two should talk." Everyone was so concerned, so insistent, so convinced that I was suffering alone in my apartment, wasting away, waiting to die. And after a few years of this, I started to believe them. Maybe they were right. Maybe I did need someone. Maybe I was missing out. Maybe I was being stubborn. So I tried. I joined a dating website for seniors. I know that sounds ridiculous. A 65-year-old man on a dating site. But I did it. I made a profile. I posted a picture. I started messaging women. And I met someone. Her name was Ingrid. She was 63, a widow like me, lived 2 towns over. We started talking. Then we started meeting for coffee. Then we started dating. At first, it felt good. It felt exciting. Someone wanted to see me. Someone was interested in my stories. Someone laughed at my jokes. I felt younger. I felt alive again. But then things started to change. Ingrid wanted to talk every day. Phone calls that lasted an hour. Text messages all the time. "Good morning? What are you doing? Thinking of you. Call me later." At first I thought this was nice. This is what couples do, right? But then it started to feel like a job, like I had to report in, like I could not have a quiet morning without my phone buzzing. She wanted to make plans, dinners out, trips to visit her friends, weekends away. She wanted to introduce me to her children. She wanted to talk about the future, moving in together, combining our lives, and I started to panic, because I realized something. I did not want this. I did not want to give up my mornings at the bakery. I did not want to skip my fishing Sundays. I did not want to meet her children or plan trips or answer my phone 3 times a day. I liked my life, my small, quiet, peaceful life. But I felt guilty, because everyone said I should want this. Everyone said companionship was good. Everyone said being alone was sad. So I kept going. I kept trying. I kept telling myself I just needed to adjust. And then one day, Ingrid said something that made everything clear. We were having dinner at her apartment. She was talking about selling her place and buying something together. A nice house in the countryside, room for her grandchildren to visit, a garden, a fresh start. And she said, "We are not getting any younger, Fritz. We should not waste the time we have left being alone." Being alone. Like being alone was a disease, a problem to solve, a tragedy to avoid. And I realized, she was not with me because she loved me. She was with me because she was afraid. Afraid of being alone. Afraid of dying alone. Afraid of aging without someone to take care of her. And I was doing the same thing. I was not with her because I wanted her. I was with her because I thought I was supposed to want her. Because everyone said I needed someone. We were two scared people clinging to each other, pretending it was love. I ended it a week later. It was hard. She cried. She said I was making a mistake. She said I would regret it. She said I would end up alone and miserable. But when I walked out of her apartment and drove home, I felt lighter than I had felt in months. I went fishing that Sunday. I went to my train club meeting on Tuesday. I had my coffee at the bakery every morning. And I was happy. Genuinely happy. Because I was not pretending anymore. I was not forcing myself into a life that did not fit. I was alone. And I was okay. Let me tell you the difference between being alone and being lonely. Being lonely is an ache. It is a feeling that something is missing. It is wanting connection and not having it. You can feel lonely in a room full of people. You can feel lonely lying next to someone in bed. Being alone is just a state. It is not having other people around. But it does not have to hurt. It can be peaceful. It can be restful. It can be exactly what you need. I am alone. I am not lonely. I have my daughter. I have my friends at the train club. I have my neighbors. I have enough connection. I do not need more. I do not need someone in my space every day, asking me questions, demanding my time, draining my energy, because that is what companionship costs: energy, time, privacy, independence. When you are young, you have energy to spare. You can handle the demands of a relationship. You can compromise. You can adapt. But I am 77 years old. I do not have endless energy anymore. I need my routines. I need my quiet. I need my space. And I am not willing to give that up just because society says I should. People do not understand this. They think I am sad. They think I am settling. They think I am afraid to try again. But I did try, and I learned that what I have now is better. I wake up at 6 every morning. I make my coffee exactly the way I like it. I sit by the window and read the newspaper. I do not have to talk to anyone. I do not have to explain my plans. I do not have to compromise on what to eat for breakfast. I go to the bakery. I chat with Frau Müller, who has worked there for 20 years. I buy my roll. I come home. I spend my day however I want. I work on my model trains. I read. I watch football. I take a nap if I feel like it. On Sundays, I go fishing. I sit by the lake for hours. Sometimes I catch something. Sometimes I do not. It does not matter. I am there for the peace. I call my daughter on Wednesdays. We talk for 30 minutes. I hear about my grandchildren. I tell her I am fine. She worries less than she used to. I go to bed at 9. I sleep well. I wake up and do it all again. This is my life, and it is enough. I do not need someone to validate my existence. I do not need someone to prove I am not wasting my time. I do not need someone to make me feel less afraid of dying. I am going to die someday, probably soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe in 10 years. I do not know. But I am not going to spend my last years pretending to want something I do not want just because other people think I should. I am not going to drain my savings taking someone out to dinner 3 times a week. I am not going to give up my fishing Sundays. I am not going to answer my phone every hour. I am not going to merge my life with someone else's just to avoid being called lonely. Because I am not lonely. I am content. I am at peace. And peace is worth more than companionship that costs you your sense of self. Now I know some of you are thinking, Fritz, you are just afraid. You are protecting yourself. You are closing yourself off. Maybe there is some truth to that. But I am 77 years old. I have been married. I have loved. I have lost. I have tried dating again. I have done the work. And I have decided that my own company is enough. That is not fear. That is wisdom. So here is what I want you to take from this. If you are alone and you are happy, do not let anyone tell you that you should want more. Do not let them convince you that you are broken or missing out or wasting your life. If you are in a relationship that drains you, that demands more than you have to give, that makes you feel trapped, you are allowed to leave. Even at 70. Even at 80. Even if everyone thinks you are crazy. Your peace is more important than their opinions. And if you are considering dating because you are afraid of being alone, stop. Ask yourself, am I looking for connection or am I running from fear? Because fear is a terrible reason to give up your independence. I am alone. I am 77. I am happy. That is my truth. If this resonates with you, if you have felt this pressure, if you have questioned whether you really need what everyone says you need, leave a comment. Tell me your story. I want to hear it. And share this video. Send it to someone who needs to hear that being alone is okay. That peace is valuable. That you do not owe anyone a relationship. If you are not subscribed, subscribe now. I am going to keep making videos like this. Real talk. Honest talk. The kind of talk people my age are not supposed to have. Hit that like button if this meant something to you. It helps more people find this message. You do not need someone else to complete you. You are enough. Your own company is enough. Live your life on your terms. Protect your peace. Do not apologize for it. Auf Wiedersehen.